Hey guys, it's Leah and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be my review for DC's latest film, Shazam. I am really excited to talk about this film. As you guys know, I went and saw it last night, which was opening night. Before we get started, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe down to my channel below. I make new videos every single week, and let's jump into Shazam, shall we? Now, if you guys are longtime subscribers or you've seen other videos of mine, you know my thoughts on the DCEU. I love DC so much, but I've been really struggling with the DCEU, and although they are improving, Wonder Woman and Aquaman were definitely a lot better than, and they had definitely been improving with their DCEU, but they still weren't there yet. And so overall, I've been generally disappointed. But let us sigh a breath of relief for Shazam. For those of you who don't know, Shazam follows the story of a, 14? I think he's 14. 14-year-old Billy Batson on his journey to both self-discovery and to learning his new superpowers as Shazam and facing off against the evil villain, Dr. Sivana. I definitely think that this worked. It's very refreshing. I'm very happy to say that I enjoyed this film. So I'm just going to get that out of the way first before we talk about some very interesting aspects. It was an enjoyable film from DC. So thank you, DC. I definitely had a good time in this. So as we kind of go through this coming of age story of both Billy Batson and this, you know, meshed together with a very adult superhero themed movie, I think that that's what worked the best. And I think I made this comment when I was watching probably one of the Shazam trailers about how I think this is really going to work for them, meshing superhero and coming of age film together into one, and it totally did. What surprised me, however, was their attention to detail when it came to the villain storyline. I was blown away by how gripping the story was and how actually sinister they made Dr. Sivana, and not like cartoony or cheesy or anything. Like, the scenes that Sivana was in and that they had created for him were so intense and such a stark contrast between the lighthearted comedy coming of age scenes that we saw with Billy in the beginning of the film, and it worked. I was laughing one second, and the other second I was holding my breath because I was like, oh my goodness, this, first of all, is so intense, and it's really an interesting storyline. So I really do enjoy the attention to detail and the character development that they put into both heroes and villains. Sometimes there's always a flat area. Someone always seems to fall flat, but I really think that this film did not have that. Another great aspect of the film was the co-stars themselves, more specifically Jack Grazer, which was Billy Batson's brother in the foster home. I think that kid really added a lot of the humor to the film and worked perfectly alongside both young Billy Batson and Shazam himself. That brings me to Zachary. Levi, on the other hand, the transition from kid to man was seamless. I thought at first that it might be a little clunky as we see him start to get used to, you know, a 30-year-old or an older man playing a 14-year-old kid, but no. Zachary Levi was spot on in his character, and it really helped push the story along. DC managed to avoid many of the pitfalls that could have brought it down, which was really interesting. I will say, however, that my one issue still remains with DC, and it was present in this film, and that was their extremely drawn-out action sequences towards the end of the film. They still do it. And it's just, I don't know, there's so many cuts that I would have made, especially at the end, that last action scene, which I totally understand it's a staple of a superhero film, but it definitely brought me back to that scene in Batman vs. Superman where I yawned, guys. Like, that should not happen. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, end it, wrap it up, please. But I feel as though if that is my one complaint, my one serious complaint about this film, then DC really showed me something, right? Oh, something else that I really did enjoy with this film was the mention of the Shazam family. I thought it was really cute, and I wasn't actually expecting that to come in at the end, which halfway could have been me just like not thinking about it, and the other half could have been I was actually blindsided by it. But I think it's really cute because it shows kind of a callback to the early Shazam comics, and I think it was like probably around in the 40s when they had Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel. And I think that that was really cute because as soon as I saw that, when they brought the Shazam family, which is now actually in a lot of modern Shazam comics, but when they brought the Shazam / Marvel family out, I got really excited because I immediately thought of Mary Marvel and, yeah, I already said Captain Marvel Jr. But I really did like that they put that in there. It looked really cute, and it definitely brought the movie together as a conclusion for the coming-of-age story. So not only did they manage to conclude a great action comic book story, but they also managed to tie in the coming-of-age experience where he has his trials and tribulations, and he eventually overcomes them. That is going to be pretty much the end of my discussion or my review of Shazam. I definitely think that it's well worth watching. You guys should totally go see it in theaters if you can. DC really nailed it on the head with this one, and I'm more excited to see what's going to come out of this and the reception that they're going to get from this and how they're going to use this. Before I go, of course, I'm going to mention the end of credit scene for you guys where Dr. Sivana is in his cell and starts to hear the voice of none other than Mr. Mind. I'm pretty sure it was hard to miss in the beginning of the film when they showed the little space worm. But for those of you who missed it, it appears again at the end talking to Dr. Sivana. And of course, this is one of Shazam's, I don't want to say biggest villains, but one of the most memorable, at least for me, because, come on, it's literally an evil space worm mastermind, to kind of like put it that way. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, although it's hilarious and I think it's great. But in that sense, it's literally an evil worm. So I am curious to see if this is actually cluing us in on potential sequels or what the new villain is going to be. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and especially of this film. As usual, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys!